Hello, Mickey Peters back for another video in the series I'm doing on addiction and recovery. Today's subject is a phrase that I used in an interview I did with Samuel earlier, or this was late last year, and that was living in the solution. Samuel liked that phrase and we talked some about it in that video, but I thought it would be a good idea to do a video on that concept. What does that mean, right? That means that how do I set myself up for success by taking care of myself both mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, and all the aspects of my humanity, by setting up routines, daily routines, some weekly routines, some monthly routines, so that I'm taking care of those different aspects of myself. And what that does is set me up for success. I'm able to show up in my life as a father, as a husband, in recovery better. I'm fit is another term I like to use. And so in a fair recovery, I think one of the early lessons that on the EMSO is you have the green light, yellow light, red light behaviors, green light behaviors. This is where they would fall in. And in recovery, we talk about the outer circle. The outer circle. You want to live in the outer circle, live in the solution. And then a more common therapeutic term, of course, is self-care. How do you develop a routine of self-care and taking care of all the different aspects of your humanity so that you can show up well? Well, of course, they're the basics. One of the phrases we use in recovery, and I know they've used it here at a fair recovery, is HALTBS, which is when you're hungry, when you're angry, when you're lonely, when you're tired, bored, or stressed. Of course, in any of those situations, you're setting yourself up for failure. It's very difficult to show up well or make progress when you're in any one of those conditions. So you want to get enough sleep, you want to eat well, you want to exercise, connect with other people, so you can process and get out of your head, so that you're not any one of those. And then as a recovering addict, you have your basics for recovery, which means getting a sponsor, actively working the steps, going to meetings, connecting with other men around recovery so you can check things in and support one another. And that's critical as a recovering addict. I heard an interview with Brene Brown, and she was interviewing two sisters, the Nagoski sisters, who wrote a book about burnout. What they mentioned was that emotions have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And if we don't get to the end, then we're stuck in the middle. And in my case, I'm the type of person who internalizes stress, internalizes emotions, and buries it. A lot of reasons for that. I'm still working on that, of course. But what they talked about was we need to get to the end and let go, release the emotion. And how do we do that? They talked about things like physical exercise, like tears, crying, like laughter, genuine belly laughter, connecting with another person and processing it. Creativity was another thing that was mentioned, physical affection, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a few, but what I decided to do was, since I knew that I was in many cases, in many days, stuck in the middle, as they said, I needed to work those types of things into my daily routine. So that way, I was able then to, from the day before, maybe the week before, do something that'll help me to let go, to get to the end of the emotion. And so things like exercise I do every day, talk to other people every day, try to laugh, Stephanie and I, my wife and I can, laugh at things and genuine laughter. I'm working on the tears. That's one that doesn't come so naturally to me, but letting myself go in movies sometimes, very healthy, of course, to be comfortable, to get comfortable with sharing emotions that way. And I'm still a work in progress there. But basically the concept is to really work those things into my life regularly, so I don't have to think about, oh wow, I'm stuck in the middle, because I don't work like that. I just need to make it part of my routine. And that way I'm letting go. I'm not getting stuck in the middle, which then sets me up for failure. And then of course you can get creative and learn new hobbies, learn how to play the guitar, learn another language, think outside the box, maybe think back to childhood, something you enjoyed doing. And again, it's something that you can do regularly that you feel better. You feel refreshed. You feel better able to show up for yourself and for your spouse, for your kids, and in particular, as you're in the beginning of this journey, able to show up for your spouse as you deal with all of the emotions and all of the issues that you, of course, will be dealing with. And many times, couples in the beginning kind of get stuck in the talking about it all the time, and everybody's a lot of energy, a lot of emotion, but we have to just kind of stay in this place because that's where we are, and forget about the self-care. We don't have time, between the kids and job and dealing with all this stuff. But I really try to encourage people, that's when you need it more than ever. That's when you really need to take the time to go for a walk or connect with somebody or, laugh, go to a movie where you can laugh, etc. And so please don't discount that, because it's absolutely critical to remember to do that. And one thing I would mention in conclusion on the self-care is giving back. That's something that Steph and I have really tried to do through Affair Recovery, being a mentor couple and facilitating phone calls and EMSO online, the post-EMS calls, Harboring Hope and Hope for Healing. We've been doing that for, 12 years now. And definitely something that we get more than we give, and it helps us to use our story, allow God to use our story to bless others. And we just feel better, of course, after doing that, or as we do that. So definitely recommend at the right time to think about that and be a mentor couple or facilitate those calls. That will definitely serve you well. And then myself in recovery, there is really no end to recovery. That's the 12th step. You give back. You sponsor other men, in my case, and work them through the steps and support them and continue to go to meetings, etc. This helps us set us up for success, helps us to continue to grow and make progress in our recovery and set ourselves, I like to really use that phrase, I want to set myself, I want to set Stephanie up for success. And that has really served us well over the years. The analogy that I use is an actor getting into character for the play or for the movie scene. So they're ready to show up as that character on screen. And so when I'm taking care of myself and when I'm fit emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally, then I'm able to show up as my true self in character and be the husband and the father, the business owner, etc. that I need to be. And if I'm not, then I'm out of character. I'm not should be able to show up as my best self. And so obviously things don't go as well then. So I definitely want to stay in character and take care of myself and just set that up as a routine that I don't have to think about. It's almost on autopilot. And it just happens because I've done that intentionally. So hopefully you found that helpful. Look forward to talking to you next time. Have a great day.